Crisis. Can I get it on here without breaking anything? It's so legit and so pro. It's ridiculous. Okay. I'm not expecting a huge turnout here, so well, I'm just going to get started, and we'll deal with some of this nonsense in a minute. I'm going to share this out to Facebook, so bear with me. Hey there. All right, now we're back. Let's see what I wanted to do first up. Welcome back to Big Board. First up was we'll have a look at these games, but wanted to let you know that, let's see, I am going to, because of a shipping snafu, which has worked out in my favor, and I'm waiting to confirm, but I'm going to be giving away a copy of Kharkov Battles over the weekend. So stay tuned to the YouTube channel, the blog in particular is probably where I'll make the first announcement. It'll be some form of, answer some inane question, and I'll put you in a drawer and we'll go for it from there, and we'll give this away, and I'll pay for the shipping and get it to you. I'd obviously prefer to only ship in the US if we can save the money, but we'll see. So there's that. And also the other interesting little bit of tidbit of news is that my son and I are going to do a live stream of a game. We're going to set a camera up and just run a game, and we will see what happens. He is not a war gamer. He's played Avalon Hill's D-Day, and he has, let's see, played a couple other little things. He's a Total War fan on the PC games, and he's quite a character. So we're going to try and get together, and he wants to play a war game with me, and he wants to live stream it. He's 20, so that'll be fun. So I thought I'd share that with you. I think that'll be good times. And I'm going to bring the chat up, and we'll just see what's going on. Jeff, what's going on, man? So good to see you. Let's see. So let's have a look at these. I'm not sure I'm going to get into too much detail on both of these games. We'll just probably look at the one in particular in more detail than the other, because I've already started having a look at the rules here. Let's get this guy open. I tell you what, so full disclosure on the John Gorkowski systems, right? I am not a fan of breaking the chains, which is what this was built off of. This is highly modified and very different now from breaking the chains. So I was really nervous about picking these up. But the more I've read and looked at this game and game system, the more I get enthusiastic about the modifications and the revisions that have happened from breaking the wrist. It's much better. So one of the cool things about this game is there are 6 rounds of sort of the political session, where in each turn, I think it is. Keep in mind, I skimmed the rules about a week ago, so this is all kind of secondhand knowledge, I would say, and I've probably read 3 rule books since then. But you're playing these cards sequentially, and then you play. So you draw these cards, play them. That sets the tone for the turn or the game potentially. I'd have to let's make some room here. I'd have to have a look at the rules specifically, but then you move into the military part of the game, and that's when you start having obviously a whole bunch more fun, right? So politics will set the scene and perhaps provide limitations and opportunities, as the case may be, and then you get into the combat side of things. So looks like there's two of these charts. Haven't really seen inside the box yet, so this is on the back of the rule book, I think here, yeah. So this is just giving you a nice little sequence, which is really, and this is where things have changed a lot, and I'm pretty excited about the way things are done in this game system. We could probably hem and haw over effective ranges and things like that. And a lot of people like to compare this to the Fleet series. I think they're 2 different approaches, similar hex scale now, but and also a similar time scale. This uses the terminology several hours, as opposed to a specific and discrete time frame for a turn. But the principles are all roughly the same. Now there are some nice ideas in the combat system, but let's have a look. Let's have a look at these counter, what's on the counters. It's pretty busy, but they're larger counters, so that's nice. So we've got our ship to ship, our underwater combat, our anti-surface, and our anti-ground stuff. Nice color coding to allow us to know whether we're in littoral or in deep waters, as the case may be, or transportation based, as the case may be. Same for aircraft. Everything's basically 2 steps, I think. I don't think there's any units that have 3 steps in the system. And then you've got your ground units here, which you can also see there. And there are missile-based systems that are ground-based as well. They're both the same. Okay, so there's that. Now the rule book is interesting. Clocks in with scenarios, 7 scenarios at 34 pages, and the first, it's probably really 31 pages if we look at it. So this sets the scene for the global and regional powers. This can actually be a 3-player game. Full color rule book, nice examples outlined in this one. Here you can see that's 45 nautical miles, which is about the same, I believe, as the fleet system. The fleet is either 45 or 75 now that I think about it, and I'm not exactly sure, so I'll have to defer on making a comment on that. As I mentioned, you have this concept of political turns, which, is it every turn, or is it just for the first, do you play 6 cards to get started? Let's see. I think it might just be, you might just move on to yeah, I think you might just have the 1 session of political stuff. Okay, so anyway, it's got some stacking stuff. There's really not that much to worry about in terms of stacking. Here's some interesting stuff that I found. Mid-air refueling, land-based cruise missile launches and stuff like that. Now there's this very specific sequence of play for the military game. You've got your air, sea, your missile strikes, and then air and sea combat phases, and then you've got your ground. Now in the old system, this went on forever. There were a dozen different a dozen different phases that you repeated over and over again to try and get the cadence right because of the turn sequencing, but he's changed that significantly. So you're doing this movement, and depending on how far you move with ships, you increase the level of risk that you might be spotted, number one. Even as a sub, if you move that extra, so if you've got a movement of 4, if you move 3 hexes, you'll be fine. You're sort of running silent, running deep, I guess. And then if you move that 4th unit, that 4th hex, then you run the chance of generating cavitation, is what they call it. And that increases your risk of being spotted. And then the enemy can also, that there are zones of awareness around every set of units, and that allows you to attempt to find the enemy or derive, choose when you go to combat, you can choose where your focus is. So that means you might be bringing more than just anyone that's in range. You can bring those units into the battle. The enemy can then choose to attempt to evade. And if he does so, that may have a negative impact upon their ability to fight in their phase, right? There's a strict sequencing that goes on with the gameplay as well. I haven't really read too much about the special ops stuff. And then there's an example of play. So really there's 21 pages of rules, maybe 19 pages of rules. So that's pretty succinct. That's down a lot from the original, if I recall, but I could be wrong. All right, let's have a look at the maps. I'll try and make some room here as well. The counters are in a baggie. So let's have a look at those because they are these larger 5/8 counters. So I'm not going to pull them out of here because I'm imagining they're going to all fall out because they look like they might be the easy cut ones. Oh, that's a busy, isn't it? That's kind of cool. So I'm excited to give this a shot, particularly given that I played Breaking the Chains in the past. Stream keeps buffering. Well, my apologies there, folks. Not much I can do about that. I've got 900 and something megabytes up at the moment on the Wi-Fi, so maybe it's just a bad location that I'm in the house. So some units. Let's have a look at one of the maps. Looks like there's potentially 3 here. I don't know if one is for a specific scenario. Big hexes. Let's move this out of the way. Try and pick the camera up. Give you a closer look. So India, Sri Lanka, and Thailand up on the right there, and then we're gonna, I see the map's gonna go left and right. So we're gonna have Pakistan, Oman, whoops. What are we doing here? This way. Here, and the Iranian, so it's going to lead you into the Persian Gulf there, which probably explains what this map is. Right. Somalia, the Saudis, the Persian Gulf, and the Red Sea. So that'll sync up here like this. So that's a decent size, isn't it? I guess that'll be a campaign gameplay potentially. And you've got these tracks on here that are keeping VP locations, some basing stuff potentially, force boxes, things of that nature. So I like it, and they are the high gloss maps, but they are not the maps that are going to have that cracking on the ink, I don't believe. At least they don't look like it so far. And there I go, I've folded that up the wrong way, as usual. So lots going on in this system, but much cleaned up, much refined. So I'm really looking forward to, and quite a straightforward, package. There's one chart here. This sequence of play, not a sequence of play, but the engagement sequence is pretty interesting because you go through in order depending on the type of combat that's being invoked. So if it's air and subs versus ships and stuff like that, well then stealth matters most. If it's other weapon types, then we're looking at the weapon ranges and weapon ratings, with the best platforms getting to have their shot first, which makes nice sense. This is that illumination I was talking about, where you can potentially spot units based on range and a die roll, of course. And everything's combat's based on a simple 2d6 die roll, where basically if you roll an 11 or better, you're going to spot the unit or kill the unit or put a step loss on the unit. And you're going to obviously add or subtract stealth factors and combat factors against those numbers. And that really ends up being then the rub of the game. So you're rolling 2d6 to make stuff happen. So that's the Indian Ocean module number 2. So 3 maps. I didn't realize it was 3. I didn't realize it was quite that big. So pretty substantial. Giant 3/4 inch playing pieces, not 5/8. Okay, so I was wrong. And it does say timescale here now, 3 to 7 hours, which I think I said before was several hours. So that's roughly right. And I mentioned that it can be 2 to 3 plays as well. So, all right. So I think we covered most of that there. Let's have a look. Let's have a quick look just at the maps on this, because I believe that we can link all of them up, which would be kind of silly, like, something I might do. Here we go. Okie dokie, there's some little note there. Political cards, rules. Let me just check this rule set in here. Again, it's almost the same number of pages, and the rules look very similar. This is nice. These are actually laminated, or feel more laminated than the other ones. More high gloss. So yes, here's the edge of Myanmar and Thailand. So I'm going to guess we could. Whoa! Oh, did I just fucking rip the map? I think I did. Yep, that's beautiful. All right. It's the tiniest of tears. You'll get a discount if I ever sell it. So the other maps would join here on this section here. I'll try not to tear this map now. See if we can actually manage that. Beautiful. And then we've got the Philippines over here. And of course the Paracel Islands and all the rest of it right there, right? So Brunei, Malaysia, Indonesia. Really pretty maps. I'm liking these. Very Philippines, whoops. Very attractive. Okay, and I'll show you the counters. Now these counters, here we go, are not in Ziploc or wrap of any type. I thought I'd give you a look at these, although they're printed both ways, so it doesn't really matter. I think this would play fairly quickly, so this might be a good game to play online Friday nights. You're right. You're right there. Mo, good to see you. All right, so you can see some of these units here, and then there's some more of the other forces here as well. Okay, so I'll try and pack this guy up without doing any further damage. Well, if we're going to get buffering, that's a problem. I'll have to put a Wi-Fi repeater in this room and give myself a little boost. The two charts, the rules, the political cards, similar to last time. Some piece of errata that got slapped in there. And I see one die. Did I drop the other die out somewhere? Maybe I did. Maybe there's a die missing. Maybe it works on a D6. I don't know. So there you go. That's those two things. Now, the game you're probably most interested in, potentially, is Kharkov Battles, because I'm going to be giving this away. If you're just joining us, I'll be giving one of these away since I now have two of them. Let me get a drink of water. I've been taking this new medication, and I'm finding that it makes my throat very dry, or I need extra fluids when I'm talking. So you have to bear with me. Now let's. I guess we should have a look at the back of the box here. There's 3 maps in this game. I do know that, and there are 3 counter sheets. They're half-inch counters, so a stark difference from the 3/4-inch guys we were just looking at. And turn scale is 1 turn is 3 days and 6.5 mile hexes and all that sort of good stuff. So lots of groovy charts in this one. Now, one thing I will make a note of that I was not aware of until I actually opened the box is that there was so many charts in here. I was like, wow, what's going on here? And then I realized when I got to the back of the rule book here that the back, what is it? The back 5 pages are errata and extras, scenario updates, play aids and setup charts, and a grand campaign edits for Case Blue, which is built on the same system as this, or this game is built on the same system as that. Which is really good because Case Blue definitely needed some updates on errata and some clarifications. There were a number of buddies of mine and I played that 3 times, and we had a number of issues with the rule book and asked a lot of questions of Greg, who was very, very patient very patient with us answering questions, even though we did get a little contentious at times. Yeah, Greg Blanchett is the designer. So let me try and, I'll try and show you what's relevant for Kharkov battles and not what's relevant for Case Blue. So the mobile assault table, one of the things that you do in this game, it's similar. Its lineage comes from the Operation Typhoon system, Victory in the West, and I've mentioned in the past that Panzer Group Guderian was part of that lineage as well, but technically it's not. But it is in the fact that it has unknown combat strengths, hidden combat strengths. But nevertheless, it has that lineage, but it's tuned and updated and changed based on Greg's preferences for the Eastern Front and how he thinks it works. So mobile assaults, which are in essence an overrun of a certain type, you can look at that. Well, there's one side to that. Here we go. Your terrain chart, which is updated for this series. So I'm assuming there's going to be more modules coming out at some point, and that's backless as well. Now then, there's the concept of prepared assaults, which you're all probably familiar with. These are, I like and this is the classic combat results table that you've probably seen Nathan Kilgore's games that use the VCS system, which is the variable combat system, which is really what this system is kind of built upon. And I like the way that we've got our terrain across the top here, and then our odds, and then results, and it's a D10 based system. You'll receive combat shifts for obviously ground support and other aspects like that. Then effects of terrain. So there are both DRM and column shifts in this game. You'll get regimental or divisional integrity bonuses. You'll get, I think there are not overrun. What am I trying to say? The encirclement bonuses and things of that nature as well. So it gives you a good tactical feel. Now some of these might be for Case Blue, I'm not sure. These look like they might not be for Case Blue, because here we go. It's not full Blau, but that's for full Blau for sure. I'm not sure if they are or not. Another terrain effects chart, and then here, this is the full Blau stuff as well. So we just put that to one side, and these are really useful for full Blau actually. But then we have third Kharkov. So there's 3 battles in here, I think second and third Kharkov. And then there's another battle in here, the January campaign, I think it is. We'll check the maps out. Now, one of the maps is a winter-themed map for Operation Star. I think it is. Let's see if I can get the map open and try not to tear it either. Congratulations, Kevin. I've got it upside down. All right. So I've seen this set up and had seen folks getting after it and already playing it. Let's see what else we got here. Hey, fellas. I see that everyone's rolling in here. Nice. So Kharkov, 2 city hexes here. Interestingly enough, if you use artillery and air in city hexes, it's going to rubble the hexes, and that is going to provide a defensive bonus and a movement penalty when you're trying to get through it. So I like that. I thought that was a good little add to the system. Let's see. So this is Operation Star. So I got that right. I don't know what map KB means, but nevertheless. And then we have somewhat larger hexes, but different map area. And this is for which battle? Does it say here? I don't see it. But it's a similar area, but it looks, is it blown up? It's not blown up. Oh, these hexes are slightly bigger. In fact, they're significantly bigger. But nevertheless, we have Kharkov here, which is this section here. And then we're running across to Poltava on one side and down south to cities I can't pronounce. Dnipropetrovsk down here. So it's a smaller area for the battle, I'm imagining, with some sort of focused battle there. Can't tell you anything about it until I pull the scenarios up, and we'll do that in a second if you want. And then now a similar map, but a larger area. So we head down to the coast. Here's Mariupol down here, Rostov on the right-hand side, Stalino, Kharkov, and then this actually runs, let's get this guy out of the way. This actually runs almost to the same area, by the looks of it, as up here. Where do we got this? Sumy. So this goes further north and further south. How does he pull that magic off? Oh, because of the map. Here we go. So there's an extra 6 inches, 10 inches of map here. I tell my wife that's 10 inches. There we go. That's what's going on there. So it's a full map versus a portion of the map, and that's how he's getting that extra terrain in. I was confused there for a second. All right, let's see. Counters. Now, here's a classic example of the counters all plopping out here. Hopefully the buffering is not too bad and it's settled down, but you can see here's where we're going to have our random strength counters. You have A class, B class units, and probably C class somewhere. You've got some C class units down there. And then there's going to be a range of combat values based on the chit you pull for those units. Other units are just going to be untried or unknown, and you're going to flip them over. And then you've got your supply, which will matter in this game, and command, and the level of support that you're going to be able to apply or deliver or give to formations is important as well. So that's all the rules in there. Yeah, they're all just plopping out like crazy, aren't they? All right, so that's that. Now, keep in mind, this will be a giveaway probably this weekend if I can get my act together and get my son squared away to play a game over the weekend, assuming I can actually get him out of bed before noon. And we'll probably try and do it Saturday at some point and kind of take things from there. So anyway, now the other thing I did want to mention while I got you here is I think tonight, now Mo can probably tell me, I'm not sure we're doing it live, but I'm playing La Resistance. Whoa, camera. I really need to upgrade the whole camera stand action, don't I? Playing La Resistance tonight, and I think we'll be editing that up. I'm not sure it's going to be live, but that'll be Mark Walker, myself, and Nate and Mo will be hosting it, I think, and we'll be sending you I guess we'll call it a war-themed Euro gameplay in the next week or two. Once Mo edits that up, or it may end up being live. I don't know. I'll do it any old way it comes. So, all right. All right, there we go. So that's really all I had for you guys. I just wanted to share that with you. And I've got a lot of stuff on the table right now, but we'll talk about that some other time. I'm having a hard time having the time to focus on it. I still haven't completely reset the third winter, which is over there on the right-hand side of the screen. And I'm almost done with Hanu, and we're getting stuck into Take Washington. But we'll talk about all those other things at another time. So let's look forward to a giveaway this weekend, all right? Stay tuned to the blog and to the YouTube channel. I'll look forward to talking to all of you soon. All the best. Ciao.